welcome to the channel. It is I, Max Left, and today we're gonna dive deep into the world of Isekai anime. And let's just say, it's not a pretty picture. If you're a fan of shows where the protagonist gets transported to another world and becomes an overpowered hero, then this video is not for you. But if you're tired of the same old tropes, cliches, and lazy writing that plagues the Isekai genre, then buckle up because I'm about to roast this genre harder than the steak I burnt last night. Now, let's get to the video. Now, let's talk about the overused tropes. One of the problems I have with Isekai anime is the overpowered protagonist trope. Now, I know most anime fans enjoy seeing anime with overpowered main characters, but I personally feel like this trope is kind of overused in the Isekai genre. Why give your protagonist any real challenges or obstacles when you can just make them so overpowered that they can defeat any enemy without breaking a sweat? Because let's face it, nothing's more exciting than watching a character steamroll their way through every battle. Honestly, I don't think there's any Isekai anime out there where the main character actually has to work for their power, because nowadays I feel like Isekai anime are just one punch man, but if it was Isekai, you know? But wait, I'm not done yet, there's actually more. How about the Isekai cheat skill trope? This is where the protagonist suddenly gains a ridiculous ability or skill, like being able to see the future or manipulate reality. Like I said, barely anyone works for their strength in Isekai anime anymore. It's like, hey, if you kill those 10 demon dogs, you'll be able to obtain the power to destroy the planet. Like, bro, what? How the fuck do you even get that power from doing that? Because why bother with character development or actual storytelling when you can just give your protagonist an unfair advantage? And let's not forget the hero trope. The trope I kinda hate the most out of all of these, where the protagonist somehow manages to attract a group of attractive and diverse love interests, despite having no real personality. Like, bro, I know the main character has riz, but rizzing up every single female character in the show? Like, what the bro? Give me some of that riz, bro. Man, there's nothing more compelling than a protagonist who's only defined by their ability to attract beautiful women. Yeah, bro, I'ma like this dude cause he has a lot of girls. Now on to the lack of originality. Let's start with the characters. How many times have we seen the same bland, generic protagonist? They're usually a socially awkward high school student who gets transported to a fantasy world and suddenly becomes the most powerful being in existence. Like, bro, farmers. Let me say that again. Farmers become the most powerful people in the world in Isekai anime. Anything goes. And the supporting characters are just as bad. It seems like every Isekai anime has the same exact cast of characters. If the MC doesn't have a whole bunch of chicks that like him for no reason, then they're substituted with the cute and innocent love interest, the gruff and stoic warrior, the wise and powerful mage, and sometimes even the comic relief sidekick. But more importantly, let's not forget about the plot, or lack thereof. How many times, bro, have we seen the same basic story of a protagonist trying to save the world from an evil demon king or a dark lord? Honestly speaking, it's like the Isekai genre is stuck in a perpetual state of good versus evil, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I just wish we wouldn't get so much of it, you know? Nowadays we get Isekai anime in every season, but 90% of them feel like a carbon copy of each other. And while we're at it, let's just talk about the actual world itself. Most Isekai anime seem to have a generic medieval fantasy setting with nothing to make it stand out from the countless other fantasy worlds out there. Like I said, Isekai anime are starting to feel really repetitive. And oh boy, let me tell you about the pacing issues. It's like watching a snail crawl through molasses. You know the feeling, right? You're eagerly waiting for the plot to move forward, but the anime takes its sweet time, leaving you feeling frustrated and impatient. I mean, I get it. The whole point of Isekai anime is to transport the protagonist from their mundane life to a fantastical world. But I'm just gonna be honest, most Isekai anime have terrible pacing. It's either the pacing is so slow that you watch a whole episode and feel like you got nothing out of it, or the pacing is so fast that you don't even know what's going on or what the story is even about. And also the plot. That's another area where the pacing issues tend to rear their ugly heads. We'll spend several episodes building up to a big battle or a significant plot twist, only to have it resolved in a matter of minutes. It's like the anime is taunting us. Like, hey, you waited 6 episodes for this moment, but we're only gonna give you a couple of minutes to enjoy it. Good luck keeping up! Pacing in anime in general is like a delicate dance. You need to find the perfect rhythm that will keep the viewer engaged without overwhelming them with too much information. Unfortunately, some Isekai anime seem to have 2 left feet and are stumbling their way through the story at a snail's pace. Take for example, the rising of the shield hero. At the beginning of the series, we see Naofumi transported to a new world where he's tasked with saving the land from impending doom. Sounds exciting, right? Well, they're gonna have to buckle up first because the first few episodes are as slow as mussels. We spend an entire episode watching Naofumi shop for armor and another episode watching him argue with his new traveling companion. And the thing is, I like the rising of the shield hero, but come on man, we want to see some action. And don't even get me started on ReZero. This show is notorious for its slow pacing, and it's not just Subaru who seems to be stuck in a loop. Every episode feels like it's taking an eternity ability to get to the point, and by the time something exciting finally happens, you've already fallen asleep. Bro, I know most people who watch ReZero for the first time don't even know where the story is going after every episode. It's not just the lack of action that's the problem with bad pacing, it's also the repetition. But you know what's the worst part about pacing issues in isekai anime is? It's when the anime ends on a cliffhanger. And I know you may be asking, how's a cliffhanger a bad thing? Normally a cliffhanger is bad when you're so invested in an anime that you want a second season immediately, and you're just left hanging, wondering if there'll be a second season. You sit there refreshing the anime news websites, hoping for any news about a possible continuation, but all you get are vague promises and rumors. And this can go for any anime, honestly, but it's most prominent in isekai anime, cause you know, isekai anime have the most potential to be unique anime. What I mean is, isekai anime has the advantage of being able to create completely new and different worlds. When a protagonist is transported to a new world, they are not just experiencing a change of scenery, they're entering an entirely new universe with its own rules, customs, and even physics. Want to create a world where magic is powered by cheeseburgers? Go for it! Want to have giants, plants as the dominant species? Sure, why not? With isekai anime, the sky's the limit when it comes to world building. But it's not just the world themselves that can make isekai anime unique, it's the characters as well. In many isekai anime, the protagonist is an ordinary person who's suddenly thrust into an extraordinary situation. This can lead to some hilarious and entertaining moments as the protagonist tries to navigate their new surroundings, from accidentally insulting the local queen to trying to use modern day technology in a medieval world. The possibilities for comedic gold are endless. Of course, isekai anime isn't just about comedy, it can also be a great platform for exploring more serious themes. For example, ReZero, Subaru is constantly forced to confront his own failures and shortcomings as he tries to save those he cares about. It's a story that deals with themes of trauma, self-doubt, perseverance, all while taking place in a fantasy world filled with magic and mythical creatures. And let's not forget about the power fantasy aspect of isekai anime. While I may argue about the abundance of overpowered main characters and how they can be a bit tiresome, there's no denying that watching a character wreak havoc on their enemies can be incredibly satisfying. But let's be real, most isekai anime are just plain bad. They follow the same tired formula of a boring protagonist who's inexplicably overpowered, a bunch of one-dimensional characters, and a plot that's as predictable as the sunrise. And don't even get me started on a blatant fan service. But here's the thing, despite all its flaws, isekai anime can be some of the best anime to come out. One of the things that sets isekai anime apart from other genres is the sheer creativity that goes into building a new world, from the intricate magic systems to the unique races and cultures. In a lot of good isekais, there's a lot of detail and thought put into these fantasy realms. It's like a breath of fresh air compared to the same old high school setting we see in other anime. And sure, the protagonist may be overpowered, but that doesn't mean they're not fun to watch. Who doesn't love seeing a guy with a sword that's bigger than he is take down a dragon with ease? Plus, the overpowered protagonist trope can be played for laughs, like in Konosuba, where the protagonist's power comes from some hilarious drawbacks. We can all acknowledge that isekai anime can be pretty ridiculous. It's not uncommon to see a character get transported to a fantasy world and suddenly becomes the most powerful being around for no apparent reason, or to watch as a protagonist's harem of beautiful women to grow to absurd proportions, despite their lack of any discernible personalities or character development. It's all a bit silly to be sure, but isn't that part of the fun? There's something undeniably entertaining about watching a hero single-handedly defeat an entire army with the power of friendship, or seeing a group of adventurers set off on a quest to defeat the demon king, even if the journey is filled with cliches and predictable plot twists. Ultimately, the reason why you may not like most isekai anime is a matter of personal taste. And yeah, sometimes the genre just doesn't resonate with you, and maybe you're just like me and you're tired of seeing the same old tropes play over and over again. But even if you're not a die-hard isekai fan, there's still plenty to enjoy about this genre, from over-the-top action to the fantastical setting to the occasional moments of genuine emotion. All I'm gonna say is, isekai anime offers a unique and entertaining experience that's worth checking out, even if most of them are just copy and paste. And yeah, that's all I had to say. If you enjoyed watching the video, I'd appreciate it if you leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, peace!